Whoa, the hair is looking wild. Um, anyway, hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time here. I just wanted to start filming another vlog. I just posted our moving vlog just a few minutes ago. I was actually watching it on the TV to make sure everything looked good, but yeah, so you can see behind me, we are officially all moved into the new house, which is just crazy. I didn't really get a lot of footage of us actually moving everything in because we had so many people here and we just really did so much on that first move-in day. So yeah, but I have some random things strewn about where I'm just kind of working on different projects. I actually got these shelves from the dollar spot at Target. I got 2 of them and I thought they'd be great for either under the kitchen sink or like in the bathrooms, but I got 2 of them and they were only $3 and they're a pretty good size. They're like, I don't know, a foot by a foot. So a lot of things are coming together. I hung up this mirror today and put the shelf kind of how I want it in here, but there's still like some things on there. Yeah, but it's coming together. I did our shelf here the other day, which turned out really cute, and I can't wait to put all the fall things on here. And then this room is just kind of like where we're storing random stuff that we need to put out or maybe even potentially donate some things. So there's just some random decor and different types of stuff in here, but yeah, it is coming along really well. Lighting is kind of weird right here. Yeah, it's coming along and it's starting to feel more like home, and I'm really happy about that because I know if you guys have moved before, you know, the first like week or so, it just feels really weird. Like it doesn't feel like your space yet. And it kind of made me like a little bit depressed this week, not gonna lie, not to mention the weather has just been thunderstorms day in and day out since we moved. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a down week for me, but I am starting to feel a little bit better today and just happy to have uploaded that vlog. It feels so good to be back after I think 5 or 6 weeks with no new videos, which is I think the longest break I've ever taken since I started this at the beginning of last year. So I'm happy to be back and filming another vlog, but I think I was just gonna sit down and tell you guys more about why we moved. So let me find a comfortable spot because this might be a long story. Okay, where do I even start? So it's kind of funny because I've seen so many other people on YouTube or just people who upload content talk about having not so great neighbors and the fact that they've had to move because of their neighbors, and I just always thought like, wow, like that seems so crazy. Like just you never think that that would happen to you. But oh my goodness, it definitely did. What is he doing? You want to be in the vlog? Okay. He wants to hear the gossip. Oh, it's so crazy, you guys. I don't even know where to start. So, actually Easter Sunday this year, we had new neighbors move in. It was a family, 2 parents and then 3 kids and 3 very big dogs. One was a husky, 2 were pit bulls. And they're all very young. I had talked to the neighbor when they first moved in, and he told me that their dogs were like a year or a year and a half old. So dogs that are young especially have a ton of energy, right? Especially pit bulls. They need exercise, they need playtime, they need all the things because they are high energy dogs, and I think huskies are the same. I don't know a lot about huskies, but Poe is part pit, and he is 12 years old and he still has a ton of energy. So anyway, they moved in on Easter and everything was okay, I think, for the first couple of days. I don't remember when everything started, but it was like within the first week or two of them being there. So I had talked to the guy once because he was in his backyard and I was in my backyard, and the yards were very close together, separated by a fence. So we ended up being outside together and just talked to him for a second, and he was okay. You know, people just kind of give off vibes sometimes that are like a little bit weird, and he made me a little bit uncomfortable, but there was no particular reason. I just like kind of sensed like he's kind of maybe not the greatest guy, or maybe something's off with him. But he starts telling me about his dogs, and I was talking about our dogs, and he had said that his dogs had broken their fence, and I could see where their fence was kind of like coming off like the post a little bit, and that scared me because we have small dogs, and those big dogs next door breaking a fence and possibly coming into my yard really kind of freaked me out, right? So yeah, you never know how dogs are going to act, and I know my dogs are sometimes not the most dog friendly, so that scared me that there could be like potentially the dogs could break through the fence and come bust into our yard, and dogs could get hurt. So that was a little bit weird to me, that he just seemed very nonchalant about the fence kind of being broken, and yeah, it still looked broken the other day when we were packing everything up, so I don't think it's been fixed. But anyway, that was not really a big deal. So talked to him for a second, and then we started to realize that they leave their dogs outside a lot. For several hours at a time, their 3 dogs are out in the yard and they are barking constantly. And this happened every single day. Like after the first week that they moved in, it was every day we would hear constant barking. Some days it was only for like 15 minutes a day. Other days it was literally like hours and hours and hours. So that was a little bit frustrating because it would be really early in the morning, like 6 a.m., or it would also be in the middle of the day when I'm awake, but I'm working from home and trying to take calls. And then it would also be like 11, 12 at night when we're trying to sleep. So that was a little bit concerning, and it just kept getting worse. Like they just kept leaving their dogs out for longer and longer periods of time. As I'm editing this, I forgot there is something else that really made us realize that it just wasn't going to be good living next to them. And is that I think one of the first days that they were in the house, I noticed a ton of smoke coming from their yard, and I went outside and they were burning trash in their yard. And our whole house smelled like smoke. And like my dogs went outside and smelled the smoke and immediately ran back inside because it was that smoky out there. And it's totally not legal to burn trash in your yard where we live. So yeah, I assumed, I was giving them the benefit of the doubt, like, okay, maybe it's just like moving boxes or something since I just moved in. No, they burned stuff in their yard several other times. So yeah, and I'll touch on this later in the vlog, but unfortunately, like, we just weren't comfortable with confronting them or reporting them. So yeah, I think it would have just made things really uncomfortable to live next to them, because they just seemed kind of confrontational. And other things that I'm not going to mention. But yeah, just wanted to include that here too. We went outside on a Saturday morning and we saw the neighbors and we waved and said hey, and they told us that they were going to the beach for the day. So we're like, oh cool, have fun. And we were very like cordial with them, and we always try to be nice to them. And they were, you know, pleasant when we talked to them too. We were very, you know, just cordial all around. So we noticed that they left for the beach and they left their 3 dogs outside in the backyard while they went to the beach for the day. So it's 90 degrees that day. It's so hot. There's like no cloud coverage. And the dogs immediately, when the neighbors leave, they just start barking and they don't stop. There's no dog house or anything, no kind of shelter in their yard. There was no food or anything left out, and I don't even know if there was any water. It was hard for us to see if there was water in the container that they had outside. So we left and went to see my family for the day, and we took our dogs and, you know, went over to my parents' house, I think. And we got back home at, you know, maybe like 8 o'clock at night. The people are still at the beach. The dogs are all 3 still outside. They're still barking. There's still no food, water, shelter, nothing. So about 11 o'clock, we're trying to go to bed, and the dogs are just like constantly barking, barking, barking. And we are going to bed and we realize like these people are not coming home tonight. Like they're leaving their dogs out until they come back. Like they left for the whole weekend. So eventually I had to go sleep in our guest room that's further away from the neighbor's yard so I could possibly get a little bit of sleep. I think Andy maybe got a little bit of sleep downstairs, but it was just like we got no sleep that weekend. So go into Sunday during the day, still no sign of the neighbors. Andy actually went and gave the dogs some bread, just some bread that we had around the house because we felt so bad that they didn't have any food. Like I don't understand, right? Like having 2 dogs that we love so much and we would never treat them like that. And it's just like, it's heartbreaking, like that these people even have dogs, and they leave them outside with nothing for an entire weekend. It's something that I just can't understand. And if you guys are animal lovers like we are, you probably feel the same way. Like we were just so baffled. So finally the neighbors came home Sunday night. They were gone for, I don't know, like 36 hours or something with their 3 dogs just outside, in the heat with nothing. So yeah, that was absolutely insane. So after that Saturday night, on Sunday, we just decided like, I don't think we can live next to these people anymore. And I'm sure you guys may be thinking like, could we have reported them or anything like that? There are other things that we kind of noticed going on with their house, with them, that I don't really want to say on here, but let's just say it was sketchy, very obvious sketchy behavior. that just kind of made us think twice about like getting into a conflict with these people, because they just seem like it could be a situation where they would like maybe retaliate, and just be like, I don't know, very not safe to deal with. So yeah, we decided after that weekend that we don't want to live next to these people. Just their energy in general just really ruined the house for us. And yeah, the thing I kept telling myself too is like, how do you reason with people that think it's totally okay to just leave their animals alone outside with no food, no water, no shelter, nothing for a whole weekend? Like, are those people that you can really reason with? Like, I don't think I'm gonna change their mind, right? They're grown adults treating their dogs like this. So, I don't know. It's really sad that it came to that, but yeah, I just think it's crazy. Like, you never really think that you're gonna be the one with those crazy neighbors, but I guess it can happen to anybody, you know? That was the third family that had lived next to us since we moved into the house, and the first two families were great. Like, we never really heard them or saw them or anything. And so far, knock on wood, so far in the new house, it's been so peaceful, so quiet, no animals excessively barking. Our dogs seem a lot happier. I think it was really stressful for them too, to be hearing dogs in distress 24/7 almost, and hearing dogs barking. And it's just, for a couple days after we moved here, like, we just couldn't believe how quiet it was, because we had almost gotten used to just the craziness of living there. I don't know, it was just so wild. But that's pretty much all I feel comfortable sharing. There's definitely more reasons than just the dogs barking and being mistreated next door. And yeah, there's more to it, but I don't really feel comfortable sharing it online, and don't want to accuse anyone of anything. So I'm sure you guys can probably read between the lines on that, but yeah, that's pretty much it. But we are so happy and at peace in this new home, and it's starting to really feel like ours. So yeah, I just wanted to give a little update and kind of fill you guys in on that whole situation. But I do plan on vlogging this weekend. We're gonna do some fun things and kind of explore the new area that we're living in, so that'll be really great. And yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. Please let me know in the comments if you've ever dealt with a crazy neighbor situation, and we can kind of chat back and forth about that. But I appreciate you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.